Now, the next part of the lesson involving the number e is to actually use it in a formula where you're going to compound your money. In the past, we've been able to do a problem like this. Ron invests $2,000 in a bank account with 2.3% interest. We're going to calculate the value of that investment after 10 years. We've done quarterly and monthly using the old formula, P times 1 plus R over N to the NT power, where basically the exponent is the number of years times the number of compounding periods. So, periods per year. So for quarterly, we would find the amount of Ron's investment by doing $2,000, which was P, times 1 plus 0.023, which is 2.3%, divided by 4 because it says quarterly, and we would take that to the 40th power because you would do 4, which is N, times 10 years. And when you do 2,000 times 1 plus 0.023 divided by 4 to the 40th, here's what we get. We're going to do 2,000 times 1 plus 0.023 divided by 4 to the 40th power. And after those 10 years, or 40 compounding periods, Ron's investment would be $2,515.54. So $2,515.54. Not a bad return on his investment of $2,000. With monthly, you would do two things. You would change the 4 to a 12, and you would change the 40 to 120, because now it will be 12 months per year times 10 years, so it would be 120. So you could go to the calculator then and re-enter that same equation, but you would change the 40 to a 120, and instead of dividing by 4 here, you would divide by 12. And as you can see, you would have a little bit more money, $2516.65. So the amount would go up because he's compounding monthly instead of quarterly. With continuous compounding, now this basically breaks up the year into an infinite number of time periods. That's what continuous compounding is. And it uses a completely different formula known as Pert. You take the principal times e to the rate times the time power. So if the bank, instead of compounding his money 4 times a year, or 12 times a year, or even 365 times a year, they would compound it an infinite number of times per year. So we would use the formula 2,000 times e to the 0.023 times 10 power. And let's go ahead and find out where e is on the calculator. You can find it in 2 places. The first place you can find e is by doing second divide. That'll just pull up the value of e, 2.718. If you want to do e to the x, it's above this button on the left side, known as the natural logarithm button, ln. So let's go ahead and type in 2,000, and we want to multiply by, since we want to do e to a power, we're going to do second ln, and you notice that it automatically gives you that exponent where we can type in 0.023 times 10. So this will give us the value of Ron's investment if his money was compounded continuously for 10 years. He'd have 2517, 20. So he'd have $2,517.20. So you can see that gives him the most bang for his buck. He has more money than he would have if he compounded it monthly or quarterly. And that concludes our little lesson on the value E.